Hi everyone and welcome to this brand new video. Today I will be reviewing Captive by Jimmy Strange. A quick performance and what I think about it right after the intro. So guys, this was a quick demonstration of the main effect you can do with Captive by Jimmy Strange. Now, the best thing of this, I want to clarify that right at the beginning. The price is around 25 euros. And even though the main effect, which is the falling cap, is worth the 25 euros, a very fair price, you are getting a bonus with it. It's not just the bonus effect, but it is also the gimmick you need for that bonus effect, which is a PK Sharpie. So yeah, instead of just getting the gimmicks for the main effect of the cap falling, you get a bonus gimmick with it, which is the PK Sharpie. So 25 euros for that, top notch. So, in my opinion, the best thing mentioned right at the beginning, let's go and see the packaging. It comes in this little tube. Inside you get your PK Sharpie, your pre-made main captive trick gimmick, right? And you get some materials to fix your gimmick just in case it breaks or something happens to it. So you're all set to go to perform Captive by Jimmy Strange. So with this purchase you're getting of course a link to a streamable video which is shot pretty well in my opinion. You get to learn everything you have to know to perform the main effect. And also you are getting taught a few effects you can like build around the falling cap effect, even card tricks. So he has some pretty clever ideas, even though some of the tricks can't be performed right away, at least the way he performs it, because he uses some other gimmicks too. However, still some great effects, some great ideas actually, that you can really use to adapt Captive to your own effects, even if you are a card magician, right? Other than that, I have nothing to add to the instructions. In my opinion, very well made. You get to learn everything you need to know. It's perfect. When it comes to the gimmick, okay, I'm talking about the main effect, which is the falling cap effect. Now, as I've said before, everything comes pre-made. You just have to watch the instructions and you're ready to perform it. Now, when it comes to the gimmick, when you take a close look at it, you can see something is a little fishy with it, okay? But if you're like holding it from here and you're looking at my hand, there is no way you will catch it. And I could really show the pan and the whole cap around fully, right? And you wouldn't catch anything from a distance, okay? The actual performance, as shown in the trailer, does really work. You take the cap, place it on the table on a surface that is like flat, you put a glass on it, and by just concentrating you can of course make the cap fall down. Now here is the thing. You can tell when the cap is about to fall, okay? Which is of course perfect. You can just like improvise and snap your fingers and it falls down. However, you can't control the exact moment it will fall down, okay? What I try to say by that is you can estimate when roughly it's gonna fall. However, you can't really tell the exact moment of it. And this part of this whole effect is the only downside from my perspective, okay? Keep in mind this is just a problem for me. If you're like a magician who performs by sticking to a script he wrote before, these tricks might cause some difficulties because even though you set up the gimmick the same way in every performance, you can't really guarantee the cap falling like exactly after 5 seconds. It might differ. It is just the nature of the gimmick. So one more time, you can tell when the cap is about to fall, okay? And then just improvise and say, fall down, and it falls down. However, you can't make it fall at any time that you prefer, okay? So it is not controllable 100%. Keep that in mind. So regarding the whole effect, the only downside from my perspective is that you can't guarantee the cap to fall down after 5 seconds, 7 seconds. It always differs a little bit. Okay, and if that's the case, like you are concentrating on the pen or on the cap, but it won't fall and you're like stuck in the situation, which is like sort of a stupid situation from my point of view, which I am not a big fan of, and which is also the reason why I can't really trust captive 100%. But if it fits your style, if you can improvise like during the performance, I'm pretty sure you will like this. The reset time is something very important. Now, there are some problems with the reset time in my opinion. Like if everything works fine during the reset procedure, it might take you around, let's say, 8 seconds. Okay, if everything works really fine, the way it is supposed to work. However, it might happen, and that's pretty often actually, that something goes wrong, so to say, during the whole reset procedure. If that's the case, you have to play around with the gimmick a little bit, which can expand the reset time to maybe 30 seconds. Okay, so keep that in mind when purchasing this. This is not an instant reset to perform like in table hopping situations or whatsoever. This is of course only the case if the reset time doesn't work as it is supposed to work. Okay, which happens pretty often, but still it is workable. It just expands the reset time. One thing that was discussed, can this be examined? Now, the cap is gimmicked, okay? And in my opinion, you can hand it out for examination, okay? If you really dare to do that. I wouldn't do that unless I'm performing to drunk people, because drunk people wouldn't see what's wrong with the cap. They would take it, look at it, nothing special about it, give it back to you. However, if you're like performing in a normal situation, giving this out for examination might cause some problems, okay? Two of these problems being one, the visuals of the cap. If you really take a close look at it, you will see something is fishy about it. And the second thing, if they like take the cap and like shake it, they might also catch something. Okay, so keep that in mind. However, if you really dare to do that, you are free to do it, but I believe no one guarantees you to get away with having the cap examined. Okay, however, I will mention you can take the whole Sharpie or just the cap only and show it's 360 and no one will catch anything from a distance. Okay, a distance between the camera and myself is enough for the magician to show the cap, right? Keep that in mind. Overall, I really like this effect. As I've said at the beginning, the price is so fair with this one. You get the main effect, which is the falling cap, and you get another gimmick with it just to perform the bonus, which is a PK Sharpie. So awesome price. As I've said before, the only downside, and keep in mind this is just my personal opinion, is that the time the cap needs to fall down isn't exactly the same every time you perform it, even though you set it up the right way, okay, the same way. Because of that, I'm like kind of losing a little trust on the working of the gimmicks. However, as I've said before, if you're someone who can improvise, this is really perfect for you, because when performing it, as you know what you're looking for, you can tell if it is gonna take a long time to fall down or if it is like falling down too quick or the perfect time. You can tell it by just looking at it if you know what you're looking for. Okay, and then you can go into the acting of making the cap fall. Okay, so keep that in mind, it does work. Other than that, I have nothing to complain about Captive by Jimmy Strange. Very fair price, very nice visuals, even for card magicians. You can find a use for it. If you like it, go ahead, check it out at testmetalparticle.de. The link is in the description box below, or at any magic below. But that was it. Captive by Jimmy Strange. If you like what you see, as always, let me know by leaving a thumbs up on this video and of course a free subscription on the channel. But that was it. I'll see you next time.